Today's 5-year plan is for Six Flags St. Louis in Eureka, Missouri. In this video, I'll be predicting what they'll be adding in the future, or in other words, saying what I would like to see added at the park in the next 5 years. So part of this is prediction based, but also part of this is me saying what I would want to see at the park. Within reason, of course. But before we look into the future, let's quickly take a step back and look at what they added in the past 5 years. 2012 was their Hurricane Harbor expansion. They've only added one roller coaster in the past 5 years, and that was in 2013, and it was a used boomerang. 2015 was nice because they added a dark ride, and of course this year they're adding the Fireball Flat Ride. So the potential for cool attractions is definitely there. And in my opinion, Six Flags St. Louis is one of those parks that needs a big ride that stands out, makes an impression. And in my opinion, right now, they don't really have that. But in 2017, if they were to RMC Boss, that would give them that ride. Not only would I like to see this at the park, but I think that this is going to be the next RMC hybrid. I think it will come in 2017. I think that later this year in 2016, the park is going to announce the closure of Boss and RMC it. Start taking it apart so that they can add bank turns, airtime moments, steep drops, maybe a couple of inversions, and probably give it a new name as well. I think there's a lot of potential in its layout, and I think easily this could become the best ride in the park. In 2018, I think we'll see Bugs Bunny National Park get transformed into Bugs Bunny Boomtown. We've seen this done at a couple of Six Flags parks, including Six Flags Over Texas and Six Flags Over Georgia, and it's essentially an overhaul of their kids area where they add a couple of new rides, kind of revamp the area, and it seems to go over well with the younger ones. I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to do this at Six Flags St. Louis. The other option is that they could turn it into a DC Super Friends area, which is what is happening at Six Flags Over Georgia. So I could see them go with either one of those names, but I think that if I had to choose, I think they would stick with the Bugs Bunny Boomtown. In 2019, I believe we'll be seeing a focus on Hurricane Harbor. By 2019, it will have been 7 years since they will have added anything to Hurricane Harbor. So it certainly is time that they add something, and their water park is a decent size. It's not great, but it's also not lame. And they are a little tight on space. In blue, I showed you approximately where they could add a new complex or maybe a new slide. I think there definitely is room to expand. They're just going to have to get a little clever with it. And as for what type of slide or expansion to add, I don't really know. I know one thing I'd love to see at any water park is a water coaster, but I'm not sure I see Six Flags adding that kind of ride into any of their parks. I think that also depends on what slides are popular in 2019. Maybe there's some slides that haven't been invented yet that will be pretty popular and going into parks by then, and Six Flags St. Louis will want one. In 2020, I think we'll be seeing their next roller coaster, and I'm feeling a B&M. This is something that Six Flags needs. They have Batman the Ride, but it's a clone coaster. It's at parks all over the place. And if they were to add a wing coaster, that, like Iron Boss, would make a big impression on the park. And I think they could get creative with this ride. Give it a neat theme, give it an original layout. I think it would go over very well. Now, they haven't added a B&M since X-Flight in 2012, but I think that might change. I wouldn't be surprised if Six Flags starts adding a few more B&Ms here and there. No more than one per year, of course, but I could certainly see it happening. As for where to put it, there's space behind the amphitheater, and what's cool is they could actually have it cross over Screamin' Eagle. That'd kind of give it like a Thunderbird type interaction. They could add in a near miss element, and they should be able to fit a ride there if they get clever with the layout. The yellow is showing approximately where the station and queue would be, but that's just my idea. The other coaster option I could see them adding is an SNS 4D Free Fly. Those are cheaper, and I could see Six Flags starting to put in a bunch more of those at some of their parks, so I could see that happening as well. But as for which one I would rather see, I'd rather see the wing coaster. In 2021, I don't think that we'll be seeing anything major. Six Flags is committed to adding something new at each of their parks every year, so I think they would do something, maybe a new show, maybe announce minor enhancements to one of their wooden roller coasters, or maybe just add in something small like a new restaurant. But the year after they add a new roller coaster often isn't something very big. That isn't always the case, but a lot of the times that does happen. So that is my 5-year plan for Six Flags St. Louis. I want to hear from you what you want to see at this park. Do you agree with this? Do you think that this could happen? Post your thoughts below and make sure to check out a playlist I have available on my channel, which has a bunch of 5-year plans that I've done in the past. And of course, make sure to stay tuned for more.